Buckingham Palace has always been more than just a building. It is the living embodiment of the monarchy's authority, tradition, and unbroken lineage. But in the twilight years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, the once-immovable institution has faced a wave of scandals that threaten to dismantle centuries of trust. At the center of this chaos lies Prince Andrew's disgrace, a scandal so severe that even the Queen's famed stoicism collapsed into fury. Reports claim she banished her son from Buckingham Palace, freezing his assets in an unprecedented move. Yet, while Andrew's fall from grace sent shockwaves through the monarchy, another, subtler danger has been growing. Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, has used the Queen's fury as a weapon in her ongoing campaign to isolate Harry from his family and position herself as the ultimate power broker. This is not just the story of a disgraced duke, it is the story of how Meghan Markle, a woman once hailed as a symbol of progress, has exploited scandal after scandal to advance her ambitions, destabilize the monarchy, and tighten her control over Prince Harry. Prince Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein remains one of the most shameful episodes in modern royal history. From lavish parties in New York to questionable friendships that stretched across continents, Andrew's ties to the disgraced financier became public knowledge, forever tarnishing his name. His disastrous BBC Newsnight interview in 2019, where he attempted to defend himself, became a masterclass in self-destruction. The Queen, known for her loyalty to family, initially shielded Andrew from the full brunt of consequences. But as lawsuits mounted and public outrage boiled over, her patience wore thin. Advisors warned that Andrew's continued presence in Buckingham Palace made the monarchy itself look complicit. By early reports, the Queen privately confronted Andrew, demanding explanations and expressing outright disgust at the damage he had caused. Eventually, she made the extraordinary decision to evict her own son from Buckingham Palace and freeze his royal financial assets. In royal history, few moments have carried such symbolic weight. This was not merely punishment, it was an act of survival for the monarchy. Yet it opened the door for Meghan Markle to exploit the family's fractured image. Meghan Markle, who has long positioned herself as a victim of royal hostility, immediately recognized the potential in Andrew's disgrace. Reports from sources close to the Sussexes suggest she repeatedly compared Andrew's treatment to hers and Harry's, asking why the palace protected Andrew for years while attacking her for minor breaches of protocol. Her narrative was simple but powerful. If the monarchy could shield Andrew but scapegoat her, then the institution itself must be rotten. This framing resonated with Harry, who already harbored resentment toward his family. Meghan has always understood the power of perception. By highlighting Andrew's fall, she reframed the monarchy as corrupt and hypocritical while casting herself as the wronged party. She ignored her own controversies, rifts with staff, feuds with Kate Middleton, media leaks, and instead painted a portrait of systemic unfairness. The brilliance of her strategy lay in timing. Just as the Queen sought to restore dignity by exiling Andrew, Meghan turned that same act into proof of the monarchy's dysfunction. Prince Harry was once the embodiment of royal relatability. His military service, charity work, and cheeky charm made him one of the most beloved royals of his generation. But since meeting Meghan, his transformation has been startling. Friends note his growing mistrust of his family, his refusal to engage in reconciliation, and his almost militant defense of Meghan even when evidence suggests otherwise. The Andrews scandal, twisted by Meghan, became another wedge driven between Harry and his kin. Psychologists who study public figures suggest Harry may be suffering from familial isolation syndrome, a condition where one partner systematically distances the other from their family to gain emotional control. While Andrew's disgrace should have united the royals in crisis, it instead deepened Harry's estrangement. The Queen's decision to exile Andrew was, on paper, the right move. It signaled zero tolerance for scandal. Yet it also inadvertently provided Meghan with a golden opportunity. By acting decisively against Andrew, the Queen exposed the monarchy's vulnerability, its willingness to cut loose even its own blood. Meghan seized on this, arguing to Harry that if the palace could discard Andrew, it could discard them too. Rather than reinforcing royal dignity, The decision fractured public opinion. Critics accused the Queen of double standards, questioning why Andrew was only punished after years of silence. Meghan cleverly echoed this sentiment in interviews, aligning herself with public frustration while painting herself as prophetic. What Meghan has executed is nothing short of a silent coup. Without a throne, crown, or title of power, she has weaponized scandal to consolidate influence over her husband and rewrite royal history from her perspective. At its core, Meghan's doctrine is one of controlled chaos. Every time the monarchy falters, she positions herself as vindicated. Every scandal becomes another proof point in her war against the firm. And in Harry, she is the perfect ally turned pawn. Polls show the British public's trust in Meghan, and Harry continues to plummet. Many view Meghan not as a victim, but as a manipulator who delights in exploiting palace drama. Meanwhile, Andrew remains a pariah, further dragging the monarchy's reputation into disrepair. This dual resentment has created an unprecedented crisis, a monarchy with scandal at its core and exiles who profit from its collapse. In the US, however, Meghan maintains pockets of support, particularly among audiences sympathetic to her claims of racial bias and royal cruelty. This geographical divide further underscores Meghan's strategy. She doesn't need British approval, only global relevance. The monarchy has weathered crises before, from Edward VIII's abdication for Wallis Simpson to Princess Diana's tragic fallout with the palace. Yet Meghan's approach feels uniquely modern, leveraging media, manipulating perception, and weaponizing personal grievance. Historians warn that if unchecked, Meghan's tactics could have the same destabilizing impact as Edward VIII's abdication, an event that nearly destroyed the crown. Prince Andrew's disgrace will fade with time. His name will retreat into obscurity, his titles diminished, his reputation forever stained. But Meghan Markle's campaign is different. It is active, deliberate, and ongoing. The Queen's fury may have expelled Andrew from Buckingham Palace, but in doing so, it handed Meghan the perfect narrative weapon. As long as she continues to exploit scandal, the true danger to the monarchy will not come from disgraced princes, but from the Duchess, who has mastered the art of manipulation. The monarchy may have survived centuries of wars, abdications, and betrayals. The question now is whether it can survive Meghan Markle.